i i cik 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 halo 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 cik 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 halo cik 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 halo 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 cik 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 oh 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 cik 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 halo halo
promise of AI surrounds us. Our end-to-end solutions and services for AI-critical infrastructure configure at speed, scale, and deliver at volume. The world depends on data we power and cool.
Welcome to our Design, Build and Operate 5x5 Lightning Pitches. My name is Audrey Pasquale. I'm the content manager for our APAC portfolio, and it's my pleasure to be moderating this session today. So during the next hour, you're going to hear from our event partners and how they're innovating in the data center space. Each of our partners has got 5 minutes and 5 slides to deliver the boldest ideas and game-changing solutions. After that, we invite you to further network with them at their stands and enjoy the next hour. So for our next and first session, we've got Matthias Pilufo from CommScope, who's going to talk to us about new Propel X frame, ridiculously flexible, remarkably simple. Matthias, over to you for the next 5 minutes.
Hello, everyone. This is kind of awkward, but I don't like to be up there, so I'll come down closer to you guys. Very awkward to be all mic'd up. There is a volume control right on your headphones, so if it's too loud or too low, please operate it. I guess you're going to start a countdown on me now. My name is Matthias Pilufo. I lead the data center sales team for CommScope in Asia Pacific. And today we're going to talk about optical distribution frames and our newest optical distribution frame, which is the result of a lot of voice of the customer discussions that we have with data center operators. Because for those of you who are familiar with optical distribution frames, traditionally they've been designed with service providers, meaning telco operators in mind, right? So they were designed for high density, but also single fiber, SC connectors, not really the same kind of connectivity solutions that we use in data centers. So we had, of course, multiple ranges of optical distribution frames designed for service providers, for hyperscalers, and they all had their pros and cons. But because of the great success of our Propel range of data center fiber panels, we had a lot of requests from data center customers to provide this similar kind of connectivity and modularity that we provide for the 19-inch panels in an ODF frame that is low profile and high density. So, as we know, space is at a premium in data centers, so optical distribution frames that can handle thousands of fibers in a low profile, 300 millimeters, can be mounted back to back, are very important. So our customers were asking us for things like making fast moves, adds, and changes, optimizing every cubic foot in the data center, provide enhanced interoperability and modularity. So with that in mind, we listened to those customers and we introduced the Propel X frame that is a 19-inch non-proprietary mount frame, but designed with 300 millimeter depth components, all front-facing, that are quick and easy to install, that they are able to support all kinds of connectors, not just the traditional service provider connectors that you see in ODF today, but anything from MPO to LC to very small form factor connectors like SN. Like you see on the slide, the frame is capable of managing 30,720 fibers when you use MPO connectors, 6,144 duplex connection when you use the SN connector. And that leads to great future-proofing for the frame, where you can upgrade your technology as you go without having to rip and replace your infrastructure, so it gives you even increased sustainability. The frame is designed to accommodate, again, thousands of fibers with a front-facing design. And as you can see on the slide, it's modular. It has a carrier that goes vertically into each of the panels, and you can accommodate, again, LC connectors, MPO, with the same modules that we use for the 19-inch panel. So it gives you global availability of the same components that we use in every data center for our customers in an ODF layout. The X-Frame is on display on our booth number 13, for those of you who want to touch and feel it, right? It's a very simple ordering kind of setup where you have one SKU for the entire frame, and then you order the modules and the different panels. The X-frames comes with the frame, the back cover, the side base, and the doors, if you order the doors that are optional, right? And then you have front access panels that are either what we call horizontal cable management for maximum density, but few moves and changes because it's very difficult to get into the fibers, especially in high density in this kind of configuration. But most of the customers will use the vertical cable managed shelves that gives you much better finger access to the frame, and also with our push-pull connectors, very easy to remove and insert those connections into the frame. Includes splice tree, so you can bring indoor cables or outside plane cables to splice directly into the frame, or you can splice also inside the modules because there's modules that are built in with splicing capability. And with that, we believe that the X-frame is a radical departure from the traditional ODFs that were designed for service providers. It's a frame that is simplified and streamlined and designed to be agile and open for data centers, including duplex connectivity, MPO, MPO16, and very small form factor connectivity. 30 seconds left. Thank you very much. Next.
Thank you very much, Matthias and Comscope, for this presentation. And Comscope is at stand 13. So for our next presentation, I would like to welcome Vlad-Gabriel to our stage from DCD Academy. Vlad is going to talk to us about a new approach to L&D for the digital infrastructure workforce. Vlad, over to you for your presentation.
Hi everyone, I'm Vlad. Nice to meet you everyone. I'm the Director of Solutions Engineering in DCD Academy. We are the training division of DCD. A lot of people are aware of our events. A lot of people are aware of our marketing services, and we thought it's due course to do a little bit of an intro of what we do inside DCD Academy. To begin with, being part of the DCD ecosystem allows us to kind of get the latest trends out as learning activities to the market in record time. It's essentially my job to work with editorial, to work with our broadcast arm, to work with pretty much the wider DCD in order to create the best-in-class learning that this industry has ever seen. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased. I'm the one that puts them together, so that's why I call them the best in class. But they truly are, right? So a little bit about ourselves. We essentially started in 2010. That's when our first course got out the door, and everything we do is down to the network of subject matter experts that we have access to. Because we deliver these events everywhere around the world, we also meet the thought leaders everywhere around the world. We meet the subject matter experts everywhere around the world. And our global network of subject matter experts, I would say, I actually done the maths on this, together they have more than a millennia of direct experience combined in the data center sector, whether that is design and build, sustainability, or anything else. We've got the subject matter experts for it. And not only that, we also have the local view and the local experience. It is nothing is delivered in the same way, whether it's going to be delivered in APAC or whether it's going to be delivered in NAM. Everything is geared and tailored to this particular region, or the region that the client is in. Further, we are essentially the very first ones to develop a fully online training platform. Whether that is for designers, technicians, it does not matter. We have a solution for you. Not only that, we are able to fully benchmark your entire workforce from an individual to a team to a global view of your workforce. We employ something called the DCD diagnostics. Now, the DCD Diagnostics is our in-house built tool in order to measure three things: knowledge retention, confidence and application of that confidence, and measure or manage or benchmark, however you want to call it. With these three things, we can show actual behavioral change. If you're more confident in a particular statement, then that means you will adjust your behavior towards that particular action. And not only that, we're able to show the holy grail of training, which is the return on investment on training. It works really simple. You're presented with a question. You've got a choice of answers. If you select one of the choices, one of the first four choices, you're also going to be asked to self-rate the confidence in that answer. Also, we employ the fifth option, which is I don't know. Putting your hand up and actually admitting that you or an individual actually needs upskilling in a particular area saves you, the employer, a lot of time. We also take a totally different approach to credentials and recertification. On the left-hand side, you can see some of our credentials, depending on what you do, whether you're a technician, whether you're a designer, whether you're a mechanical or electrical engineer. Once you're credentialized, you get access to an ever-growing library of courses focused on the latest trends that the industry is talking about, whether that is generative AI in data centers, or how do you build a sustainable supercomputer, or how do you bring your own power through alternative power generation. This, in a nutshell, is kind of like what we do. These 5x5s make you stick to the time. This is just an example of how we work with our partners. No two partnerships are the same. We always sit down, analyze the requirements, go through the requirements, essentially then build, customize, and personalize learning programs for the businesses that we work with. Thank you. And meet us at stand 61. If you have more questions, meet us at stand 61. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Vlad. And as Vlad said, please come and meet us at stand 61. For our next presentation, I would like to welcome new to DC Nexro Batam and Iren Rosidi to the stage to talk to us about Beyond Data Centers. We are enablers of AI ecosystem. Iren, it's a pleasure to welcome you to the stage, and over to you for your 5x5.
Hello, hi everyone. I'm Arin from Nitra DC. So we actually a data center provider. As you may see that our footprint here, we already up for 80 megawatts plus, right? So we actually persistent with tier 3 minimum for our design. So can you see that our footprint here? So basically in Jakarta, we have 21 megawatt, but we are planning to have 120 megawatt coming soon. So our site in Batam, it will be up and running for the first quarter next year. So that's our booth there on number 12. And then the rest is our retail data center, which is already exists from 2014, you know. And then this is the edge data center that we already have the widest in Indonesia. So our edge data center usually all the CTN is there with us. So you can see that we are growing, and then upcoming another 5 sites will be in this year. So what makes us different, right? So I can say that we actually have plans to be offered to you. So the first that we will offer for the AI-ready ecosystem, not only for data center, but AI-ready ecosystem, and it means we bring our partners to you, right? So we grow together. So we hope that our partners will go with us, and we will offer for our end user Because using our capacity, they will have the efficiency through the AI ecosystem that we bring to the market, right? Then we do have the largest eyeball in Indonesia. And this is that we offer to you through our strategic business operation in Singapore. And another thing is that we are the we have HDC capability. And in Batam, as you know, that the tax-free zone, so maybe for AI solution that there's something that you can consider with. This is the tax-free zone that we offer. It's more efficient for you, right? So we also, for sure, always say that we are certified excellence. It's mean like we commit to have the certification or international standard with us in our capacity. And then for the rest, from number 7 to number 10 is like 24/7 monitoring tools and high security infrastructure. And also we committed with the green energy solution, and we already implement like solar solution in our sites. And then it's coming, RAC will be signed with us with the PLN, the only one power supply in Indonesia. And then for sure is reliability SLA, right? So this is the neutral DC product and services. And this is as common data center colocation provider. As you might can see that this is what our product and we like to grow. And then one we add in the last one is AI. And then for sure, because we have a partner NCP provider from Vietnam and also from America with us already. They are with us. So we believe that this is what we need to proceed in the future. And then also, least but not last, is about our neutral DC ecosystem. This is all that we have, from the bottom to here. This is all we already have. We already have with our partners. And then we will announce next August in our summit that we believe that this is the key enabler for us to grow in the market, right? So please take a look at our summit. If you are interested in our summit, please take a QR code with us and then please visit in our site in this booth so we can explain more about how you can collaborate and be a partnership with us in our next summit in August in here in Bali. So hopefully everybody can be our partner. Please take a look in our site. We can open a workshop and also clinic. So our end user will have a private session with you guys. So take a look. Okay, so thank you from Nitra DC. We hope you visit our booth in number 12. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Irene. And as she said, please come and say hi to them at stand 12. For our next presentation, I would like to welcome Dennis Sim from Pandrit, who's going to talk to us about empowering AI with dynamic infrastructure. Dennis, it's a pleasure to have you on stage for the next 5 minutes. Over to you.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Actually, it's a very long day today. All right, so I hope that you can bear with me for the next 5 minutes. So my name is Dennis. So I'm the Pandrit Technical Managers that cover the Asia Pacific region, particularly Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Philippines as well. So what we're going to talk about today is of course related to artificial intelligence as well. So I'm not going to talk about how you can deploy this artificial intelligence and how it can help your businesses. I'm more of a technical person, so I'm going to talk about the technical side of it. So, as you can see over here, this is one scalable unit of artificial intelligence. For those of you, probably some of you might be seeing this for the first time. So what we are seeing here on top is actually 4 of the spine switches. 4 of the spine switches. And then in the middle, you can see that there is actually 8 leaf switches over here. And at the bottom, you have the GPU servers, which is 32 GPU servers. So in order to create a large models of artificial intelligence, you need one of this. We call one scalable unit. So in bandwidth context, for those of you that might not know about what is bandwidth is about, we don't provide this active equipment, which is the switches and also the servers. Those are provided by the active equipment vendors, the suppliers for the active equipment. For us, we are providing the middle portion. You can see over here, the quantities of the connectivity over here is quite high in that context. So there's a lot of connections, mass connections from the spine switches and the leaf switches and also the GPU servers. So over here, how much cable connections that you are looking at? In a scalable, one scalable unit, you are looking at about 700 MPO 12 APC cable connections. That's a huge numbers of cable. Then the next question is, with this topology wise, how are you going to deploy this cable? In today's context, there is two ways to deploy this. Of course, the very first one you are looking at is a direct patching. Means that you have a switch to switch connections, and then you have the switch to the GPU servers connections. We do a direct patch, a cable direct patch. So the problem with a direct patching cable is that you are seeing over here in these pictures, looks very messy, right, in a way. So what happened is that this is a 1 RU connections, and then it consists of 64 port connections. And then within these 64 ports, there is transceiver inside, and then it consists of 128 MPO 12 APC cables. So how are you going to manage this cable? That's the questions. And then if you are managing these cables, how are you going to do the maintenance of it, right? So when we talk about GPU servers, it's going to consume a lot of power. And then it also requires a lot of power to cool the equipment as well. So that's the problem. And then the second one that you can look at over here is the structured cabling way of doing it. So for the past 20 years, TIA and ISO, we have been deploying structured cablings on these cables. This is one of the ways to do it. So you have the GPU servers. One of the rack is the server cabinet on the left-hand side, my left-hand side. And then the right-hand side is the network cabinets. So this is how you deploy the cables. And then with this structured cabling way of deploying it, it's very easy to manage the cables. One of the questions that I always receive from the customers in terms of the technicality of it, if you deploy a direct patching as compared to a structured cabling, is there an increase in terms of the latency? So over here, what I can tell you today is that the increase in connectivity wise is not going to increase your latency. All right? Latency is only can be increased when there is an additional length, or maybe your splicing or even your cables is bent in that sense. So other than that, of course, there is a lot of advantage that when we are talking about structured cabling. So over here you can see it. We do have a AI structured cabling solutions guide over here. You can scan this QR code, or you can reach out to us. We are actually at booth number 7, so which is beside the door over there. So come and reach out to us so that we can discuss further on how to deploy this artificial intelligence. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dennis. And as Dennis mentioned, please come and say hi to Toshiba at stand, to Pandry, sorry, at stand number 7. And next up is going to be Eric McGaha from Toshiba, who's going to talk to us about rapid deployment systems. Eric, pleasure to have you here for the next 5 minutes, and over to you.
Thank you very much. Okay, my name is Eric McGaha. I work with Toshiba International Corporation. Going to talk. Okay, sorry. Is that better? So, talking about rapid deployment systems, which is something we just started this past year with the request of our customers. So, our customer asked us, what can we do to help them go live quicker with their DC operations? And part of that was expanding our installation process during the manufacturing process at our facilities instead of waiting until at the construction site. So as everyone knows, with the increase in data center building, manpower, materials, everything is getting slower and slower and slower because we're building so fast in the data center industry. So the customer asked us, what can you do at your manufacturing center to help us? So what we've done is we have skid mounted our G9000s, our 3000 UPSs, MBS, and battery cabinets, pre-cabled them, and we're doing 100% testing through level 3 commissioning. So once we deploy the UPS at the customer site, they can go straight into level 4 commissioning and IST within about 48 hours of the equipment hitting ground, which saves a lot of money for them, a lot of time, and a lot of headaches. General contractor costs are down, PM cost, storage needs for sensitive equipment because we can deliver these just in time depending on their schedules, cabling cost, because we've already done all of that during the manufacturing process. In conclusion, I know I'm going quick here. Anytime that you as a vendor can move your customer needs to your manufacturing facility and take it out of their construction build time is always going to be a benefit to them. And it turns you in to being a true value-added provider of equipment that they need on the field rapidly. Meet us at stand 4, and we're right back here at the door. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eric, and please go and meet Toshiba at stand 4. For our next speaker, I would like to welcome Tony Gaunt from Vertiv, who's going to talk to us about revolutionizing data center design. Tony, pleasure to have you for the next 5 minutes on stage. If we could please have a timer reset. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you. I thought I was going to get 7 minutes. Never mind. We'll just go with the 5. Okay, good afternoon. Right, let's talk about design and build. What I want to talk to you guys about today is the evolution that we've seen in the data center and the way that we actually now have to start to think about how we design, how we build, and what's fundamentally changed. We've probably spent 20 years running 2 kilowatts, 5 kilowatts, 10, 15 kilowatts a rack. Ever since probably around about 2000. We've seen since 23 the evolution of 20, 30, 50 megawatts. Right now we're looking around about 130, 132, sorry, not megawatts, kilowatts, 132 kilowatts per rack. And even at the bottom here, we say 2025, 300 to 500 kilowatts. That's not a reality in terms of deployment, but it is a reality in terms of what's actually being planned. What we're seeing is coming out next from from the GPU manufacturers. So it's a fundamental change, and it means we've now got to actually think about how we design data centers in a very different way. We used to say, let's build for X kilowatts per rack. Let's build Y amount of cooling, and let's put a certain amount of temperatures in, and everything will be fine. That was very easy. We built a box, and we put IT in there. What we've now got to think about is the fact that we've got to build out from the chip, from the server, through the powertrain, all the way to the utility, and similarly from a thermal perspective, what is the chip doing, what's the server doing, what do we need at rack, what do we need at row and room, fundamentally what do we need at full facility. So we can't continue to go down the route of we're going to build X megawatts of IT load in a facility, everything will be fine. The IT itself now is driving the fundamental change in the way we have to build and design and operate these data centers. So what we're seeing now is the need, therefore, for designing these together. So we've got to enter this world now where we're considering not just how much power do I need, and there'll be enough airflow. We've now got to actually design and say, right, I need a complete IT architecture design, but I need the facility infrastructure design to go alongside it. The two are not disparate, the two are not distinct from each other, they're a single. This is actually why we start to hear people like NVIDIA talk about AI factories. It's why we're now hearing people talking about the data center is now the unit of compute, rather than a unit of compute being what's inside the rack. The entire facility is now the way in which we measure compute power. So what we've developed, just putting a Vertiv sales hat on, is what we call Vertiv 360 AI. In other words, because we work so closely with the likes of NVIDIA, the speed at which these guys are working, the speed at which Unite guys need to come to market, is to develop some streamlined designs that you can use as references. Okay, so these are pre-engineered solutions, they're configured, they've got part numbers, we can give you the full designs that you can at least use to start to design and develop a fast facility and a fast deployment. Now, where this has come from is this little word up here, NVIDIA partner. it's an easy term. It's easy to use. Say, oh, we work for NVIDIA, we design for NVIDIA. We actually design with NVIDIA. So what our R&D teams are actually doing is working with NVIDIA on their next 1, 2, 3, 4 iterations of chips, so that we can actually ensure that there's the correct infrastructure already coming to market when they actually deploy. So you'll see here, and you might have heard Jensen, I nearly said Jensen Button then for any Formula 1 fans, Jensen Huang actually started to reference this one, which is the design for the GBU 200 NVL72 standard reference design. This is showing liquid cooling on the compute. Anybody who's now seen the latest iterations from GTC, there's actually liquid cooling now on the network racks as well. This is how fast these guys are moving. So these solutions need to be developed. If we're looking at 600 kilowatts per rack, that builder box with some power and cooling in it just is not going to work. So what we have really is this need for us all to innovate, for us all to collaborate together. The standard process of somebody does a design, somebody buys some land, you've got a QS involved, electrical contractor, GC, mech contractor, all of these disparate parts and hoping it will not work. So it's an absolute imperative that we as an industry should now come together and we focus on actually collaborating and getting our solutions, our collective solutions, right for the customers and right for the markets. So there's a QR code there. I'm not sure if it works from the distance. If it doesn't work, that's fine. There's QR codes over there. There's the Vertiv team sitting over there. Thank you for doing that, whoever that was. Appreciate it. And any more questions? You've zoomed in and stopped me. There we go. We're just there on stand 14. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tony, and please go and visit Vertiv at stand 14. Next up on stage, it's my pleasure to welcome Basant from Wesco Anixter to talk to us about data center solutions. Basant, the stage is yours for the next 5 minutes, and please enjoy.
Thank you, Audrey. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Basant. I'm responsible for driving the data center program for Wesco Data Center Solutions. So Wesco Anixter as an organization has been a critical enabler of critical infrastructure for multiple industry sectors. So Wesco Data Center Solution was born and purpose-built to serve some of the hyperscalers, co-location providers as enterprise customers. So a quick overview in terms of our presence. Globally headquartered in US, we mirror across 4 different theaters in EMEA, in Asia Pacific, as well as in Central America and Latin America. So we operate pretty much across 14 markets in the Asia Pacific region. Regionally headquartered here in Singapore. We have strong presence across 14 markets. Besides the fact that we operate in these markets, we have strong integration capabilities across each of these locations. We have a very strong dedicated program management team, as well as supply chain operations to drive some of those global complex projects into these builds. So we are a vendor agnostic technology provider. What that essentially means is that we cut across multiple technology products that goes into these infrastructure builds, that cuts across power, security, network infrastructure, and cooling solutions. So in essence, we become a single point of contact when it comes to providing design services, stacking up the right set of technology, not just for today, but also future-proofing and helping and assisting you in terms of recalibrating where it's required to be evolving with, aligning yourself with the ever-evolving market technology trends and the macroeconomic factors keeping into consideration. You have seen there are due to 2 major factors. One is because of the macroeconomic factors, as well as on the geopolitical shifts. You continue to see a lot of supply chain constraints or convoluted supply chains. So we circumvent that with our deep expertise which we have across over a century between the Wesco and the Anixter organization. So by now you know with that, we are vendor neutral, technology agnostic. Having said that, we also bring about a holistic set of solutions that cuts across right from the conceptualization stage or the ideation stage, as we call it, and takes you through the entire life cycle of the product build. So historically, we have always looked at the layer one infrastructure services. Over the years, we have grown organically and inorganically to drive right up to the OSI stack of 7, which is physical infrastructure, to that of a virtual environment. So we have, besides the fact that we have a strong project management and operations team, we also have a technology support services team that is embedded to drive some of these engineering services into these builds. So this is a typical chart in terms of how we engage with our customers. The true value that we bring is our agility and our co-creation capabilities with the wider ecosystem of our channel partners, which is our contractor ecosystem, our system integration partners, and our technology partners, giving us the ability and the holistic view to engage more efficiently and drive a design and a deployment that is fit for purpose and for future scalability as well. So this is typical representation of how a data center build goes out. We engage right at the very early stages of the construction phase, which essentially means that we are engaged deeply in the surveys and the audits of not just material availability, but also the site itself. We have abilities to rapidly deploy what we call it as laydown yards or pop-up warehouses, not just merely storage facility, but ability to catalog our own procured material as well as third-party procured materials into these sites and do a staged delivery as and when the project progresses. And the same can potentially be replicated into the customer fit-out projects that cuts across various technologies besides brick and mortar that goes into the data center builds. So today, most of the data center builds, we're at an inflection point wherein there used to be a time where build used to be about 15 or 20 megawatts. It now scales right up to 100 to 150 megawatts. It becomes extremely crucial for us to plan for the future, which essentially means that scalability is key. So most of the infrastructure that is being built is mostly on-premise technology, giving very less rigidity. So what we do is we ask a simple question, what is fit for the future? And then we start looking at how do we actually augment the solution to provide a scalable solution which can rapidly take through different phases of the upgradation of the project. Smart Hands program or the augmented support system is more around providing technical resources, which is an extension of your own organization in the data center environment where we do subscription-based services around ticketing, providing IT engineering support, as well as providing a NOC support, which we follow the clock model, sun model, I beg your pardon, which essentially means that we have our NOC centers out of the Bay Area in Manila, then we have in India out in Pune, as well as in the Bay Area in the US. We cater to most of the hyperscale customers as well as co-location providers across the footprint. Managed services is a very wide terminology, but in essence what you're focusing is on the IoT platform, which does predictive maintenance, does condition-based monitoring, as well as a centralized orchestration of information that we pull out from critical infrastructure builds that come out from the data center. It can be power, it can be cooling, as well as the network infrastructure. So what in essence is, we have gone way beyond just monitoring applications by providing preemptive maintenance support, thereby extending the life cycle of the product, as well as ensuring the OpEx costs are down and only do the replacement when it's actually required. Data center migration is nothing but a physical shift of the infrastructure assets from on-premise data center that is of an enterprise into a co-location or vice versa. Rack deployments goes into 3 categories. We spoke about the construction phase, which requires offline integration in our integration facilities, where we build the flat pack racks into fully built ones, which is predominantly the passive gears. The second variation is around the rack and stack, which cuts through the burn-in test, the configuration, as well as the imaging of the routers and switches, and then we roll them into the data centers. The third category involves more complex sort of set of configurations, along with active gears and power infrastructure that goes into the racks. And once again, most of these are carried out in our integration facilities across those 4 different, or rather 14 different countries that I was alluded to earlier on. thank you. That pretty much sums it up. We are in booth 5, so please do come over for a chat. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Basant and Welsko Anister. As he mentioned, they are at booth 5. For our last and next presentation, I would like to welcome Sol from Xenoptics, who's going to talk to us about creating zero-touch networks with automated fiber switching. Sol, it's a pleasure to have you here today, and the stage is yours for the next 5 minutes.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, DCD, for the opportunity to present zero-touch networking. I've just come off the back of attending Interop, where we won multiple awards for Best Product of the Year and new ideas for AI deployments. As a member of the Xenon Technology Group, some of you may know that Xenon is an elite partner of AI deployments with NVIDIA. So us as an automation partner, we are very much involved in the designs and ideas of how to change and automate networks. This tends to get people's attention if they're just falling asleep, because death through PowerPoint. These are really old ways of doing patching, but surprisingly, this is one we just did recently. And this is not a mock-up, this is a real. On the right, on the left is our systems. What people don't show at these events is what do patch panels and what do cross-connects look like in about a year. They all look beautiful at the start. They're all lovely cable managed, Slack management is lovely, and so on. But what does it look in a year? What does it look in 2 years? What does it look in 3 years? Can you manage it? Do you know where it is? Has a paper fallen off? So I just want to show the real one on the left is what we've done. So that's our equipment there in the middle. That's 1,000 fibers fully automated. When I say zero touch, after deployment, you don't have to go to the rack ever again. So we developed a world first, no single point of failure fiber automation platform, which is very important to mention, single point of failure, because when you are transitioning from a cross-connect architecture, which is reliant on a manual patch panel, it's very important to remember that what we are proposing is not replacing traditional patch panels. What we are proposing is replacing the need to do manual cross-connects. Cross-connects is where all the problems occur. People get the wrong fiber, they don't label it correctly, they don't even record what they put. When a service is decommissioned, does anybody ever recover the fiber? The answer is no. We run another fiber. Return on investments are truly lost by not recovering existing fibers. When you fully automate, when a service is not required, you recover that fiber. But you don't physically recover it, you recover it through automation. That fiber becomes available within our platform to be used again. Now, when you look at greenfields, from day one, to have a platform that you deploy a platform designed on a manual cross-connecting, if you've got a greenfield, you're not thinking for the future. Because you don't know tomorrow what your customer's going to need. At our booth, we've even got platforms designed for the new AI 16-port MPO or SNMT systems. Did anybody a few years ago think you'd be looking at a 16-port MPO or an SN? Nobody in this room. So going fully manual at this point in time is really short-sighted. So what are the problems? Manual, as we mentioned, no documentation, no SLAs. SLAs. A lot of our systems, customers put OTDRs or fault managers connected to our systems remotely from one network operations center. You can cross-connect the service to an OTDR or a VFL. You know whether the service is up or it's down. You then can cross-connect the customer to another port, restore the service. The most important thing is restoring customer services. Then you can worry about maintenance. Okay? Customers don't pay if their service is down. The time it takes you to provision the service, that's also lost revenue. The quicker you can commission the service, the quicker you can invoice the customer. We provision in 45 seconds. When the customer doesn't pay in 45 seconds, they're disconnected. Surprisingly, they then pay. We're also using FTTH deployments, data center deployments. We're in many deployments around the world. New products that we are showing over there, predominantly for top-of-the-rack deployments, smaller deployments, 72 RU. What we are trying to do right now, we're moving fiber automation to the mainstream. Our vision is you can just go to Amazon or Annexter or whoever or CommScope or any other provider, go to their website, click a button, get the product delivered. Through a simple web GUI, you have the ability to have fiber automation. It is not a luxury anymore. It's a mainstream product. From a low-cost product to the hyperscale offering, which we'll be showing in December this year. We are at booth 32. Sorry, I didn't even know. We're right there. There's a gentleman called Alan, put his hand up over there. You're more than welcome to see our system working. And you can look inside and see our robot. I'd like to thank DCD again and all the attendees, and I hope you enjoyed the beach party. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sol. So that concludes our stage today. Thank you very much for everyone for joining in. We do still have some content running on different stages, so please make sure you join us for our India launch. We've got some drinks on the show floor about to be served. We also have a welcome panel at 4:45, and please also explore the floor and go say hi to our partners. We also have the beach party at 6:15, so please come join us for that as well, and thank you for tuning in to this stage today.
Okay.
The wrong slide. Anything you have in detail?
Well, on the last one.
Is that on?
His slide is 30.